First, we're going to do a roll call. I'll start. Nicole Barker, President.
Amy Schlotthauer, Secretary Treasurer.
Ann Lessela.
Tom Ewig.
Carol McGivney.
Ellen Rohr, Business Manager.
Jacqueline Romer, Library Director.
Okay, next we have public comment period. The Library Board of Trustees will hold a public comment period for the purpose of allowing the non-appointed public the opportunity to address the board regarding any matter that involves the library or matters over which the Library Board of Trustees has authority to take. The public comment session shall last no longer than 15 minutes, and individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. These time limits may be extended at the discretion of the board president. Library board members shall not respond to or debate matters raised during public comment. Public comment should be addressed to the library board as a body. Any questions or comments posed to an individual member of the library board will be deemed out of order by the board president. Presentations shall not deal in personalities or personal attacks on members of the board, the applicant for any project, library employees, or residents of the village of Menomonee Falls. No campaigning for political office is allowed during the comment period. Questions, comments, and concerns shall be presented in a respectful and professional manner. Any individual violating these expectations will be deemed out of order by the board president. And I don't think we have anyone to speak, so we'll move on. Next we have consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda will be approved in one motion unless any board member requests that an item be removed for individual discussion. That item can be considered at an appropriate time during the board's regular order of business or under new business. So first we have approval of the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 regular board meeting, and then a bill approval for March 2024 in the total amount of $77,863.73. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 regular board meeting and bill approval for March 2024 in total amount of $77,863.73?
Motion to approve items under consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? No. All in favor of approving the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 regular board meeting and bill approval for March 2024 in the total amount of $77,863.73, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Next, we're on to the committee report. So the Policy Review Committee is me. So we have not met again since our last board meeting. Our next meeting is still kind of in the works, waiting on somebody to let us know their time.
Oh, we're good. As of today. Yep. As of, yep. Breaking news.
All right.
That's, Madam
So is it May 9th at 5 o'clock then?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So that'll be our next Policy Review Committee. Next, Special Events Outreach and Fundraising Committee, Amy.
So the Special Events Fundraising and Outreach Committee met today at 5:15, just before this meeting. And we just had a few items that we talked about. Amber and Daniel Levy from Latitude Cafe joined us to give us an update on the progress of the opening of Latitude so that we could start the idea generation for the grand opening celebration. Due to a number of permit holdups, they don't have an actual date that they can give us yet for the grand opening. However, we did talk about a number of ideas, and a couple of them being that we might have the grand opening on the evening of the first day, and kind of showcase some of the adult services that the library provides, and then the day after do sort of like a morning to midday for children and families. One of the ideas being having a scavenger hunt. Jackie said something like find the golden coffee beans or coffee cup for a prize. The Levies also had the idea to do goodie bags and bookmarks, and that the bookmark would serve as a reward program for library card holders. So in the Germantown location of Latitude, they have a buy 10 cups, get the next one free. So it would essentially serve as that type of thing, but for the library location, which I thought was a cool idea. I also was just really appreciative. Daniel mentioned that, you know, he really wants the focus to be on the cafe being an add-on service to the library, and, you know, using the grand opening to showcase some of the service offerings for the library, which I thought was cool. So we will kind of monitor that, and once we have a date, put some of those in place. In the meantime, I offered to draft the scavenger hunt idea for Jackie, and then I'll just formalize that with just an ongoing list that the committee can return to. Once we actually have a date, we will set up, you know, like I said, some more formal things. Anne had mentioned that the village board members also would like to attend. And depending on the chamber, they kind of do the supply of the ribbon cutting, you know, think about that. And then there might be some opportunity for some press through Brian.
Cram.
What is his
Cram.
name? Cram.
Mm-hmm.
That Daniel is working out. So it's very exciting. There's some good ideas to go. And Jackie had sent out kind of the opening day, or not opening day, sorry. The part 1 video that Falls Cable Access did. And that I also saw that on the library page. So definitely generating some good buzz there. And then the next thing I just wanted to talk about with the board, we had talked about, Nicole had mentioned last board meeting, that it would be nice for the board to offer a breakfast for this upcoming staff education day. So I did reach out to Daniel and Amber after our meeting to ask if we could get a quote from them for coffee and or pastry breakfast foods. And they responded that they have a couple of different options for coffee. The special events committee thought the 1 3-gallon coffee carafe with one type of roast would be good. And then they can do an assortment of pastries like scones, muffins, cookies, breakfast sandwiches, assortment of bagels and cream cheese, which would be nice to kind of showcase the variety of options that they have. And so the quote that they offered was $180. And so if we divide that equally among board members, that would be $25 a person. And then Carol also offered to make a fruit salad to accompany that. And then finally, the library does a table every year at the Memorial Fest. And the committee has just talked about it would be nice for board members, if they are available, to serve as liaisons, I guess, or, you know, join the library table to talk about the library. Jackie has already started the staff setup for that, and there are different time slots: 9:30 to noon, noon to 2, and 2 to 4:30. So once that sort of circulates through staff, she's gonna circulate it to the board. And I would just encourage you, it's not a requirement, but if you have time and want to serve in that capacity, to sign up for a volunteer table slot. And that is it. So I don't know if we have to do a formal vote or if we can do a formal vote, but just wanted to get some of the board's feedback on the breakfast option.
I'm good with it.
I'm
Okay.
good with it.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do recognize that we don't have 2 members here today, so I will just send an email with that, just getting their okay, and then I'm happy to pay for it if you all are comfortable paying me the $25. I think that would just be easier for the Latitude. But if anyone has a problem with that, we
I
can talk.
just thought of a question.
Yeah.
Was that 180, are we tipping Latitude?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
I mean, I know they wouldn't, I mean, so I don't know if you heard did you say they're giving the 10%
Yeah.
back? I didn't hear it, it zoned out on
Oh, I
this.
did not say that, no,
Okay.
but yes,
Yeah,
they
so
are.
they're giving 10% back
So we
already.
could just add 10%.
So we're gonna pay them 180, they're gonna give us 10% back as our, you know, part
It's
of
gonna
our-
go towards the 10%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just doing that, you know,
think
to
they're
be
just being nice.
generous,
Yes.
but, on that, I guess it would be nice for their staff that are working there to give a tip on top of that.
Mhm.
That's, yeah, you
Okay.
know,
I agree.
because it's very nice of them to accommodate that way, but
Mhm.
for their staff, you know,
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe even if everyone added $5.
So
I think it's
30?
around
So 30?
30s and
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
put
okay.
that in the email, and then provided that,
We'll just tell David and Matt it's on them, because they weren't here, so make it really easy.
so we will just, we'll go through with that, and then, I'll just work with you, Jackie, to coordinate how that's gonna work out.
Awesome, thank you. The staff
Just
are really
a
gonna
question.
appreciate it.
Excuse me. So, did you want us to just put it in your envelope, like a check to go in your envelope?
Yeah,
Is
so if
that
you
fine?
wanna just bring a check, if that's, or cash, or I also have Venmo. Someone had asked about Venmo earlier at our last meeting.
I probably don't want to say it on here right now.
No,
so
I don't
tell
wanna
us
say it
later.
on, unless anyone wants to give me donations.
The other thing, one more thing, Amy. So some people don't drink coffee. Would we be bringing juice or something like that too?
Yeah, what do you think if I get like a case of water from Costco, like bottled water, or?
That would be great, yeah, absolutely,
I can
awesome.
do that.
Some orange juice.
Yeah, I can get some other beverages. And I'll just bring those.
All right.
Good idea, Karen, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so we should have a really great breakfast if you just want to let the staff know I'm hungry.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell them
Abs-
not to eat breakfast before they come.
They won't, once they hear about what you guys are giving, so that'll be really nice, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a really good opportunity for you to mix and mingle with the staff as well, and just have some nice social time to get the day started, so.
Yeah,
What's the
it'll-
time
it'll
on
be
that,
nice.
Jackie?
8 to 8:30,
On May 3rd, correct?
yes.
Thank you.
What time are we thinking of having the breakfast here then and stuff?
I was going to ask if I can go pick it up that morning at like any time that they want to have it ready. I don't know what the earliest time is, and then just plan to get it here by like 7:45 if that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what time, because that's earlier than the library opens.
No,
so-
I'll be here
Okay.
earlier, yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
So if I get here with the food at 7:45,
Yeah,
That's
I can
good.
let you in, no
Okay.
problem.
Amy, why don't you let me do the water and the juices? You're running to Latitude to get the food and stuff. I'll take care of the other part of it.
okay.
Okay.
And then the only other thing that I will ask if they supply plates and things, napkins, but do you have enough of that?
Yeah, we have
Okay,
some.
perfect. All right. Sorry, that was a really long update, but lots of fun
Okay,
stuff.
lots of good stuff.
yeah, really good.
Yep. All right, so next we have the live streaming committee. So we have discuss and consider for approval dissolving the ad hoc live streaming committee since it is now live. So can I get a motion to approve dissolving the ad hoc live streaming committee?
I'll make a motion to approve dissolving the ad hoc live streaming committee.
And I second.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
It was organized to gather information, to research options, and then make a recommendation to the board, and we carried out all those expectations. So we did what we needed to do.
Correct. Yep, it was very fun too. All right, all those in favor of dissolving the ad hoc live streaming committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passed. And then we have no new business or unfinished business, so we'll move on to trustee education. Chapter 7, the library board and library personnel. Jackie?
All right, so this chapter talks all about how the library board work with the library personnel. As you all know, I report to you, and then the personnel fall under my purview of responsibility or those that I delegate to manage the departments. So it talks a lot about the role of the board versus the role of the director when there's specific things about library personnel. And sometimes that can be muddied a little bit, but for our purposes, I do feel like we have a really clear organization of that, which is great. So it talks a lot, this chapter, about policies in particular, which is timely considering that we are really working through a lot of our policy updates right now. It talks about how, as the library director, I can and should recommend personnel policy changes, but I can only implement those after the library board has approved them. Same with job descriptions. I can suggest changes to job descriptions, new job descriptions, updates, but it can only be approved by the library board. And as part of that is salary ranges as well, and pay for each position. That is also part of the job description, and that's approved by the library board. But day-to-day assignment of staff duties and responsibilities falls under me, but any sort of large-scale changes, talking about changes in job descriptions or compensation other than regular cost of living adjustments and things like that, would be established by the board. Of course, cost of living adjustments, merit-based increases, those are all part of the budget that you approve annually as well. There is a really good section about different lines of communication and what to do when. So if a staff member were to come to the trustees with a complaint, it gives information about what to do with that, where to go, asking them if they've spoken to their immediate supervisor, if they've spoken to the director. And it also talks about the library's grievance policy. So legally, we have to have a policy talking about the grievance procedure if there's ever any issues with staff regarding a disciplinary action or a safety concern in the workplace. So we do have that policy in place. In that same vein, we do have a newer procedure that we're working through called the chain of communication. So one of my goals for the year was to create a chain of command procedure. I tweaked it a little bit, and it has become the chain of communication procedure because I think that really encompasses what this entails more. So I gave you each a copy, and I did talk about it in my review document for next month as well. But it talks about the organizational structure of the library and then different communication guidelines and expectations. So what does communication look like vertically? What does it look like laterally? What do decision-making processes look like amongst the staff? And then what does respect look like? What does professionalism look like? And how does that tie into things that we already have in place as a staff, like our team norms and our values? And then it also points out the grievance procedure as well. So that's just something that's been kind of cooking for a couple of years now, that finally made it onto paper. And that is really all I had to reflect on for Chapter 7, talking a lot about continuing education for library staff and funding for continuing education. We've been so lucky to receive many grants this year even. We were even able to send one of our staff to a national convention virtually, but still, the Public Library Association Conference, which was really exciting, 100% grant funded. So we've been very lucky with those CE grants for staff. Any questions on that? All right.
All right, next is the library board president's reports. So as we kind of just discussed, May 3rd is the library staff education day from 8 to 4:30. If we want to mingle, it's 8 to 8:30, kind of, because the rest of the day they'll be busy and educational stuff. Then April 7th through the 13th was National Library Week. And in recognition of National Library Week, Amy was gracious enough to get a cake made for the library staff to enjoy. If you haven't seen it yet, she sent it all out to our emails. So have a look.
They also posted a picture of it on social media with some flowers and other things that community members gave.
That was
Did
a
they
really
enjoy it?
cool idea, excellent idea.
It was delicious. Thank you very much. The
You're
staff
welcome.
very much enjoyed and appreciated it, so thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah, it did look really good. Finally, I want to remind everyone that we are going to be doing Jackie's annual review at next month's meeting. Amy is working on getting something out to us electronically so that we can all fill that out and get it back to her, so she will have it all printed out and ready for us at the next meeting. Yeah.
Okay, so, per your request, I did transform the paper form into a Google form. So tomorrow I will send you all a link to that form. It is anonymous. So until I get 7, I'm gonna be sending reminder emails weekly. And I'll have the deadline for completing that on the email with the link to the form. Subsequently, I have already sent the direct reports, the manager form that you all reviewed. And so I will bring their feedback to the performance review as well.
And if anybody has any questions, you can see me or Amy about anything. Then that's all I have for the president's reports. Library director's reports, Jackie.
Okay, lots of really good, positive things to talk about this month. I've been looking at the statistics a little more and more lately, and as I said in my report, it's not all about the numbers, but there definitely are some great numbers this month. So as of April 1st of this year, our year-to-date visitors, so people coming into the library, is almost 41,000 people, and that's over 1,700 more people than we saw at that same time range in 2019. I always look at 2019 as our comparison year because it was the last kind of normal year for statistics wise, so that's wonderful that we have been able to increase it so much. And we have exceeded our physical checkouts of materials by over 7,400 items. So even though we're adding so many more digital services, even though so many more people are deciding to use Libby and Hoopla to get their ebooks, e-audiobooks, and e-magazines, people are still checking out physical items more than ever. I want to highlight 2 things that have happened recently. So spring break was a huge draw to the library. During that time, we issued 97 new library cards. We added 259 new items to the catalogs. Our patrons checked out 11,614 physical items. Our amazing pages reshelved 8,195 items that were returned. We had 892 attendees at 28 programs and a little over 5,000 visitors to the library in just about a week or so. So it was a very busy week for the library. It was awesome. We had a lot of new people coming in for the first time. Then, shortly after that, we had the solar eclipse. And that was a very big thing for libraries. I'm sure you saw the news. Get your solar eclipse classes at your public library. So about a year and a half or 2 years ago, we wrote for a grant to get solar eclipse glasses to distribute to the public. We received 2,000 of them. They've been in storage since. And on April 1st, we started distributing glasses to anyone who had a library card through the Bridges system. So the day of the solar eclipse, we had 1,207 people visit the library, which we normally average between 400 to 600. So it was hopping. Many of them were looking for the solar eclipse glasses. The Saturday before, we had 716 patrons. So between April 1st and April 8th, largely due to distributing solar eclipse glasses to cardholders, we gave out 183 new library cards. So it was a wonderful opportunity to educate people on all the services we offer, other than solar eclipse glasses, and people mentioned that they came in, checked out books, and really just explored the library and all that we have to offer. So that was an amazing experience.
Besides the new library cards, we also updated a lot of people that hadn't been there for a while.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So how do we get a solar eclipse like every year?
Right, yeah, right.
What is it, like 20 more years?
Come up with something every year.
Yeah, right.
Need special glasses for Groundhog's Day.
Right. Get at the public library. I also included a Latitude Cafe update, so that's been really going in full swing. There's been plumbing and electrical contractors beginning work or getting started on getting the former snack room ready. We got the signage up on the second floor, and we are ordering a new sign for the first floor that's going to be hanging from the ceiling above the staircase. And half of it is going to explain what's on the second floor, because a lot of people don't know where the adult and teen library is, the local history room, the makerspace, and then Latitude is going to have a portion talking about it, that their coffee shop is on the second floor. So that's going to be awesome.
So you're gonna put that by the stairs? And
Yeah.
You're gonna have everything listed, you're saying?
Yes.
So just kind of say what's, okay, that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really nice, just so everybody knows exactly where to go. So that was a good collaboration with Latitude. We've done press releases. Today, the Falls Cable Access video that they produced went out with the owners of Latitude, which was awesome. Just a chance for the community to get to know Amber and Daniel. And then, what else? We got the signage. We're waiting on some permitting perhaps, so there's a little bit of a lull right now in work being done, but we're waiting on some permits from the village for some continued work being done. So right now, there's a little bit of a lull, but as Daniel said at the committee meeting before this meeting, they've got about $65,000 worth of equipment going in. The one thing I did mention was that there was a little bit of an unexpected thing that had to happen where there was an electrical panel installed on the other side of the wall in the maker space, and that electrical panel is solely for the coffee shop. So there is a dedicated panel for the coffee shop. They didn't really find that out until they started working on it, that had to happen.
Why did that have to happen?
I don't know electrically, I don't know from an electric, I don't know electrically why there needed to be a separate panel. I'm assuming we didn't have space on our existing panels.
Okay.
And it went into the maker space. My understanding is because there wouldn't have been room on the other side of the wall in the coffee shop because of the countertops that were being installed. And code says you need 3 feet of clearance in front of an electrical panel. And so there would not have been 3 feet of clearance with the countertops for the coffee shop.
So when he was talking about like they have the plumbing and the electric, and they have to wait on whether or not the building permit is required.
Mm-hmm.
So the electric work is already done, it's just the plumbing that they're basically having to wait on.
So the first part of the electrical work has been completed.
Okay,
And there, as to my knowledge, no plumbing work has been done. The first part of the electrical work was completed, but then there's a pause because a lot of it has to be done after they move in their counters, because it all connects into the counters. So the electrician has done what he needs to do at this stage. The plumbing has not happened yet. There was quite a few contractors coming in and out to discuss the ins and outs of it, but the village does have a contract with a plumbing contractor ready to go.
okay.
There's just a permitting thing happening that I really don't know all the details to.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions about the cafe that I might be able to answer?
Just so I kind of, maybe I'm interpreting this wrong. We're waiting on a permit from the village to the village?
Yeah, so even,
Am I interpreting? I just didn't.
Trust me, you're not the first one to
No,
say that.
I'm more just like,
so even, yeah, even
Yeah.
municipal buildings do still require those permits, so.
okay, I just wanted to make sure that I understood that correctly.
The other highlights I had were story time at the park, and then we've been doing a lot of second year in a row, we are doing story time off-site at Old Falls Village Park. That's one of our strategic plan goals, is to collaborate with the park and the two nonprofits that work with it, so that's really exciting. And then we also began doing outreach to local apartment complexes as a way to sort of have a captive audience and not having to send out mailers. So we were able to send out over 1,000 flyers to 6 different apartment complexes, and they agreed to put them in every resident's mailbox, highlighting all of the resources that the library provides. And we've already seen people coming in saying, hey, I got this flyer, I want to get a library card, I want to come to a program at the Forge, so that was really great. And then of course, book sale next week, it's coming up, so that is all good news. And that's all I have.
All right. So next is village trustees report. Anne?
All right. I wish David was here because I wanted to show him up from last time with all the information I have. So Chief Waters came to give his quarterly police report, and hiring is still a major issue. They just hired 2 new police officers, so that's great. However, we are still 7 short. So hopefully that gets better. Their hiring of police aides, that has improved though. So there's going to be bulk item curbside pickup, and if you want that, you need to call Waste Management 7 days ahead. And you need to call between April 15th and May 3rd. The number is 262-251-4000. You're allowed 2 items, and if you go on, the best thing is to go on the website. It spells out what is appropriate and what isn't. It's a very long list, so I'm not going to go through it. So I suggest you go on the website and look that up if you're interested. But I do want to quickly, this isn't my area, but the high school does a medals collection every year. And so if you have anything that you even think has medal in it, you should do that.
It's for the band.
Yes, for the band, yeah. Do you know the date of it? Okay. Well, look that up too. And then there's going to be a river and park cleanup. That's actually this Saturday. So help is always needed. Even though they do suggest you register, I registered. You just go to menomonee-falls.org river cleanup, and there's numerous areas that you can go and help. But even if you just show up, that's great. They will find somewhere. They supply you with the materials, some heavy gloves. You do not get a poker stick. You'll have to bend over and pick it up.
Find money.
Yeah, you get bags, and and they supply water if you need it. Again, you can go onto the village website if you want more information for that. And and then there's Arbor Day Bird City. So there's going to be a tree planting Friday, April 26th at 10 a.m. at John Taylor Park. If you're able to come to that, we are listed as a bird city. And so they do a little celebration for that every year. The village board approved rezoning so that Jilly's Car Wash will go in on Appleton Avenue. Jilly's really followed through with everything the Plan Commission wanted them to do for stormwater treatment, for entering and exiting the location, and they donated just under an acre of land to the school district. So, of course, the school district is thrilled about that. And
Where is that going?
it's going to be just west of the high school. Like, you know where the football field is for the high
Yeah.
school? It's just right up the road on Appleton Avenue.
Huh, okay.
So there's 2 homes there. So there's the
Oh.
line of businesses.
Yeah,
And in fact, the closest one is a chiropractic clinic. And then there's 2 homes that are tucked in there. And it really is meant to be more of, you know, commercial space. So the rezoning really just was not a major rezoning. It was just to allow the extra access of cars going in there. But sounds like they were willing to do everything to be a good neighbor to everybody. That's it.
Very cool.
There you go, David Munoz, if you're watching.
I think he's at a meeting. Next would be David, so we're unfortunately not going to get a school district report tonight. So next we have Menomonee Falls Public Library Friends Reports.
There we go.
Carol.
Okay, so just some highlights. The tree planting project is moving forward for the Friends. It will be in Municipal Park Friday, June 21st at 10 with a backup date of July 19th at 10. They were going to have 7 to 8 trees. That was the beginning of the project, but they put it out to community and everybody jumped on the idea. So actually the community is really supporting this project and we're up to 13 trees rather than the 7 to 8 that were originally planned. So that's really exciting. The book sale is coming up. That's another thing that we talked about a lot. Courtney O'Connell is really just a blessing as our new marketing board member on the Friends. She's working on the Storyteller, putting content in there for the summer edition. I'm working on Facebook posts for the Friends Firsties and the tree planting. They had a donation of $1,000 through the Community League, which will go to permanent step stools for children in the bathrooms, so that's pretty cool. And August 10th is Kid Fest, of which the Friends is a co-sponsor. So they're working with a dance team and will be making friendship bracelets. The performer will be a Taylor Swift impersonator, or I don't know who it is, but everybody's really excited about that. And the friendship bracelets are something really cool that the Friends will be supporting. So those are the highlights.
All right.
So what defines as a kid? Like, can I go make a friendship bracelet?
We can talk about that.
All right, so our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. and we are adjourned.